The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Attention Ditto Heads. Attention Bo Scouts.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
It's time for the soul of excellence.
He is a radio host here in New York.
The Rush Hour is on the air.
Rush.
Now here's James Golden.
The big thing we have to do is we have to make sure that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon, because if they do, you want to talk about problems, you'd have problems. So very important is that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon, and they've agreed to that. Iran's agreed to that, and they've agreed to it very powerfully. They've agreed to give us back the nuclear dust that's way underground because of the attack we made with the B-2 bomber. So we have a lot of agreement with Iran, and I think something's going to happen very positive.
That, my friends, could spell the beginning of the end of this action, military action that is taking place in Iran. If this holds, Donald Trump has said the Iranians have agreed that they will not have nuclear weapons. They want to give the nuclear dust back to the United States. Two key demands. We will see. There have been stories coming in and out. Tehran taunting the United States will sink your ships, take thousands of hostages. And Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Wawa, saying that Iranian leaders had better choose wisely. We're locked and loaded if this thing. Also today, news of a ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon. Donald Trump said earlier that they had agreed to a ceasefire. Still waiting on the confirmation from the Israeli government. But all of those things are happening. Welcome, my friends. It is the Thursday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, fastest hour in American media. I want to run through a lot of stories very quickly because there's a lot I want to get to. There was tragedy this morning in Virginia. Justin Fairfax, who ran for governor a while back, apparently shot his wife dead. They were embroiled in what is described as a messy divorce. And then he took the gun to himself and shot himself. Their son discovered them. He was 47 years old. The wife had said in divorce papers he was a deadbeat, had turned alcoholic, wasn't doing much. The house mortgage hadn't been paid. It's a lot. It just sounds like his whole life fell apart. Now, what isn't making the news so much is that this Democrat was also involved, and I remember when this happened. It's time passes so quickly. It's hard for me to believe that this all happened so long ago, but so it was 2019 that he was running for governor, and you had two women, at least two women came out and said that he had sexually assaulted them. He's black. The women, at least one that went public, was black, and she talked about how he had tried to force him, orally and other things. It was not a pleasant story, but it was quickly ignored. And the mainstream press, they covered it a little bit, but it wasn't like, and this was in the age of Me Too. It wasn't that they blew it up. Well, he didn't succeed in that election, and had pretty much, after his term was up, disappeared from the news until today. Very, very tragic story. And, of course, you just think the children now, he has a son and a daughter, and the son is the one who found his mom's body in the house, apparently. It's just a horrible, horrible story. And wishing for the best for the children and for the family of all of it. It's just terrible. One of the things that I want to get to today concerns the continued fallout with the Pope, with Swalwell, and also, but I want to get to a few other things that are in the news. Justice Thomas was in Austin, University of Texas at Austin, to mark the signing, the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. He told the audience, if you don't stand up and take ownership of our country and take responsibility for it, we are slowly letting others control how we think and what we think. By the way, when Justice Thomas walked out, he was given an overwhelming, warm, gracious, beautiful standing ovation. And so normally we'd be talking of all the news stuff, and there's a lot of stuff I want to get to in the news. But I do want to spend a moment on Justice Thomas, and we have two sound bites from Justice Thomas, and I'd like to do them both. So, Carlos, let's start with 15. This was Justice Clarence Thomas at the University of Texas in Austin today. You cut 15, Justice Thomas.
Grandparents who heroically, quietly, without fanfare, sat my brother and me down at the kitchen table in August of 1955 and committed the rest of their lives to us so that we could have a chance. They told us, we don't have no education. We don't have no education and no chance, but you boys are going to have a chance. But we're going to devote the rest of our lives to you boys. It was their devotion, their love, their dedication to raising us right that has made the difference. Not the words, though the words expressed as best they could what they intended to do. Their devotion is what mattered.
It's very powerful. And I mean, it looked to me that he was struggling at one point when he first started recounting what his grandparents said to he and his brother at the kitchen table. And I can hear it in my heart and in my head. I can hear it. You know, they come from a part down there. I don't know whether his parents were Geechee, but they come from that area where you have a lot of Geechee folk. And I know people that are Geechee. It's almost a dialect of there, and so you can hear it when people speak Geechee. And I believe his grandparents may have been Geechee. If not, though, even the Southern, because my grandparents, my grandmother had that sort of almost that kind of an accent. So I can hear when you say, "You boys gone up, you gone, you gonna get a good education." It's just so heartfelt. And I just thank you, Justice Thomas, for sharing that part of your life with everybody. Now, the justice also talked about progressivism. This goes by fast, but this is important. And this is one of the things, cut 16, Justice Clarence Thomas spoke about to that crowd celebrating the 250th anniversary signing the Declaration of Independence.
At the beginning of the 20th century, a new set of first principles of government was introduced into the American mainstream. The proponents of this new set of first principles, most prominent among them, the 28th President of our country, Woodrow Wilson, called it progressivism. Since Wilson's presidency, progressivism has made many inroads into our system of government and our way of life. It has coexisted uneasily with the principles of the Declaration. Because it is opposed to those principles, it is not possible for the two to coexist forever.
Now, that is profound. Woodrow Wilson did something else as a progressive. And many people don't know this. Woodrow Wilson was the one that brought back Jim Crow. He is the father of Jim Crow in terms of the federal government. He was a big, huge, racist Democrat. He still has institutions standing in Washington, D.C. the Wilson Institute, huge racist, drove black people out of their federal jobs because he didn't want those. I started to use the N-word, which we used to be able to use, but now you say it, because that was him. It was him who brought that Ku Klux Klan movie, Birth of America, into the White House. He was an avowed racist and a progressive, and not much has changed in the progressive movement since then. So, the progressives are opposed to the Constitution, and Clarence Thomas talked more about that. We may have some more of those cuts on the Saturday show this week, because I'm going to play as many of them as I can. But this is truly profound. Progressivism as an ideology of how to govern America is incompatible with the Declaration of Independence. And he spent more time on that. Meanwhile, at Yale University, play cut 17, I'm just going to get to as much of this as I can today. Play cut 17, this is Democrat Hassan Piker quoting communist Mao Zedong, who we were in a Cold War with for decades along with Russia, the communists, at Yale University. And these Yaleys, they're a little too smart to just openly applaud. So you hear rumbling, like they're stomping their feet in approval because they just like, yeah, we're with you. So this is Democrat podcaster who, by the way, said that the United States deserved 9/11, who has said despicable things about the Jewish people, this guy's unbelievable. But he's invited to Yale University, and he quotes communist Mao Zedong at Yale. Here he is.
I am reminded, however, of some famous words spoken by a guy by the name of Mao Zedong. Speaking with an American journalist in 1946, Mao Zedong said these words: "All reactionaries are paper tigers. In appearance, the reactionaries are terrifying. But in reality, they are not so powerful." Speaking of U.S. imperialism, people seem to feel that it is terrifically strong. But it will be proved that the U.S. reactionaries, like all reactionaries in history, do not have much strength. In the United States, there are others who are really strong. The American people.
Yeah. The Fox News did some commentary on that. I'm not even going to... He went on to say that the American empire is going to fall. And it'll fall either weak or... we'll get the quotes. And again, I just wanted to touch base with this today. But he's at Yale University predicting and advocating for the fall of America at Yale University. And he is quoting Mao Zedong. Okay, we have covered a lot. I want to get to Mitt Romney. I want to get to some of these other people, the Swalwell stuff, the Pope stuff. So let us take a break here. James Golden and Snerdley coming right back. Don't go away.
Rush. This is the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Oh, Snerdley.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
James Golden, known popularly as Bo Snerdley.
This is the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Rush.
The fallout from the scandal involving Swalwell continues, my friend. Congresswoman Lauren Boebert was questioned by reporters. She got a little snarky. It's a very quick clip. And here you can is Miss Boebert.
Yeah, go to church. Find Jesus. Why is everybody so horny here?
She's asking, why is everyone so horny here? I don't know, Ms. Bower. Maybe people shouldn't be going to dark movies with people trying to choke their chicken in the movie theater. To show how horny they are, perhaps. I don't know. Why? Because people are horny, because that's what people are. Anyway, Joe Concha, Cut 2, was on Fox earlier, and this is one of the things that he noticed, continued fallout on the Swalwell thing. Here's Concha.
So he did the late night rounds before the scandal. They built him up. What do you make of their silence now?
Well, of course, Kimmel and Colbert are silent, Carly. I mean, these guys are and have always been hack-tastic at their jobs, which isn't to entertain, make us laugh, but to serve as sycophants to the Democratic Party. Both Kimmel and Colbert, just to underscore this point, have not had on any Republican guests not named Liz Cheney in years. Contrast that with Bill Maher, who I can absolutely guarantee you will talk about this at length tomorrow night on HBO as far as Swalwell and these horrible allegations. But Kimmel truly is the worst. To have Swalwell on, as you just played, to announce his gubernatorial campaign, only to not even mention it over the last couple of nights, shows us once again that late night comedy is a one-way protection racket. That's where we're at this point, Nate.
Exactly right. I hope at some point the fairness doctrine, as these people like to call it and like to exert that. I think that when it comes for candidates, I hope that someone's making the case that for candidates on some of these late night shows that call themselves comedy shows, and that they have to live with the rules that other broadcasters live in with. When we get back, there was a vote in the House today on extending the protected status for Haitian people, refugees. 6 Republicans joined in with Democrats to push it forward. Now, I'll have more to say about that. Also, illegal immigrants in California getting beauty treatment, sex changes. Illegal immigrants on taxpayer dimes. We'll get to that. There is so much more. So whatever you do, keep it right here. Fastest hour in American media continues. Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
James Golden, known popularly as Bo Snerdley.
This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Rush. Hey everyone, so I'm here in Charlotte. Since the start of Trump's war of choice, it's $15 more every time you fill up your tank of gas. The price of diesel has now gone up 80% since the start of the war. And you best believe that's going to carry over to how much you're paying for all the goods that are being transported on those semis. We've got a president who is paying more attention to what he thinks is in his best political interest and personal interest as opposed to what is in the best interest of working people in America.
That's Cackles, the billion-dollar campaigner who couldn't win with her campaign of joy, Kamala Harris, who presided over the worst inflation, she and Joe Biden, in recent American history. Gas prices out the window. Never saw her at a gas station then. Gas prices higher, I believe, during her tenure than they are even right now. But she's out there trying to make noise like we all forget it. James Golden Snerdley with you here. Let me go through a few things. You people in North Carolina, please, thank you not for Tom Tillis. Tom Tillis, senator who thankfully will be leaving after his term is up, on Wednesday said President Trump should apologize to Pope Leo following their public spat. To say soft on crime or soft on the border, that's what you say to an opponent in the next election. Or, maybe a president or prime minister candidate in some other country, but not to the Pope of the Catholic Church. Why not? The Pope has pretty much said, and the Catholic Church has contributed to flooding our streets with illegal immigrants, in many cases, who have committed crime. And they don't care. In fact, I read a story, I'll have to check it out, that Trump canceled a Catholic Charities contract, or the administration did. I don't have that in front of me. I'll have to look into it. Why can't you say that to a Catholic Pope who basically singles you out? And after he meets with David Axelrod, Obama, who's not even Catholic according to some reports, and he gets a meeting with Axelrod, and then comes out and starts slamming Donald Trump. Why can't you say to him he's soft on the borders, especially when church policy has been to let illegal immigrants invade the country? In fact, on that 60 Minutes interview, I had to cut earlier in the week, but we don't have to dig it out now. One of the bishops was complaining, since ICE raids were happening, that their Spanish-only masses in some area was down. He mentioned the specific area. I don't remember it offhand. Was down 30% off. People not coming after the immigration raids. And to me, that's just proof positive of what this could be all about, too. There is a component. What happens when people don't show up? Well, when that offering plate gets passed around, it's not quite as full, is it? I'm just saying. So, look, if the Pope wants to wade into politics and wade into domestic American politics and act like a Democrat with Democrat talking points, then the president certainly has every right, Tom Tillis, to answer back. And you are not president. If you want to dictate how American policy should be, Tom Tillis, then why don't you run for president? You know why you wouldn't run for president? Because you'd never get elected. All right, next. We got a lot on Swalwell. I'm looking at it, trying to figure out whether we can squeeze some of it in. But let's get to this story first. Cut 12. This is from Fox News earlier this morning, and just, there you go.
50,000 Haitian refugees from deportation. How's that going down? Bill Malusian's on it. He is our guy in immigration, yet again, on the Hill. Bill, good morning.
Bill, good morning to you as well. The House will be voting later today on a bill that would extend temporary protected status for those Haitians for another 3 years. And there is all sorts of outrage on the right this morning after 6 House Republicans voted with Democrats yesterday to advance this legislation, voting on a motion to move it forward. Now, that motion passed because of the help from these Republicans, and some of them explained themselves in posts on X. New York Congresswoman Nicole Maliotakis wrote in part, quote, "These are Haitian immigrants who are working, paying taxes, and contributing to our economy. To strip them of their status and deport them to a country in peril would be uncompassionate and misguided." But other House Republicans who are hawkish on immigration are not happy with this. Texas Republican Congressman Brandon Gill writing, quote, "It is an abomination that any Republican would vote to extend TPS." Pennsylvania Congressman Scott Perry wrote, quote, "6 Republicans teamed up with Democrats to allow backdoor amnesty for hundreds of thousands of Haitians who came into our country illegally, betraying American citizens." Well, House Democrats now feel wind in their sails, and they are urging the House to extend Haitian TPS when they vote today.
Haitian TPS holders.
That's enough of that. Maliotakis, Mike Lawler, among those that voted yes, that guy Bacon from Nebraska. Okay, here's the skinny, folks. There were hundreds of thousands of Haitian refugees that were at the border. Joe Biden let them in. Were they vetted? No. They have never been vetted properly. They were given immediate refugee status. No one vetted these people. We've got hundreds of thousands that came in this way. And with Maliotakis and Mike Lawler and these guys are worried about, they're working. How do you know they're all working? Maliotakis, how do you know that? She doesn't know that. No one can know it. Is she willing to pledge and promise America that not one of these refugees seeking temporary status has not been involved in a criminal act against American citizens? I wonder if she would promise that. I wonder if Maliotakis would promise that any one of these Haitian immigrants came here would not murder an American citizen, rape an American citizen, or the like. Unvetted. I wonder, would Mike Lawler stand up and say, yeah, don't worry about any of them. We vouch completely for all of them. No harm will come to an American citizen because of it. I just wonder whether they will. I doubt whether anyone in the press will ask them to do it. Next story. I don't have a soundbite for it, but I have the story here. This is something I'm going to have to consult with the Countess of Conspiracy, who has been conspicuously absent from our airwaves. The Countess of Conspiracy might know the answer to this one. At a White House briefing this week, let me see, I'm going to make sure I don't have the, I don't. I was looking to make sure I didn't have the soundbite of this. At a White House briefing this week, Peter Doocy at Fox put a question on the table that many Americans are already asking. Why are U.S. scientists with access to sensitive nuclear and aerospace programs turning up dead or disappearing? There are now 10 American scientists who have either gone missing or died since mid-2024. They all reportedly had access to classified nuclear or aerospace material. Is anybody investigating to see if these things are connected? And White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt admitted she'd seen the reports. We all see them floating on social media. Yeah, well, play the audio. You got it.
10 American scientists who have either gone missing or died since mid-2024. They all reportedly had access to classified nuclear or aerospace material. Is anybody investigating this to see if these things are connected?
I've seen the report, Peter. I haven't spoken to our relevant agencies about it. I will certainly do that and we'll get you an answer. If true, of course, that's definitely something I think this government and administration would deem worth looking into. So let me do that for you.
Brilliant. Again, I need to check with the Countess of Conspiracy and see what the buzz is on this in the conspiracy world. She would know. I will look into that and get back with you once I consult the Countess of Conspiracy on this matter. 10 scientists disappearing. Okay. We got Swalwell stuff. I'm trying to look at the cloud and see whether we have time to do it. Let me instead just do this. The Swalwell stuff, which you've heard a lot, is nothing really new, except the Democrats knew, some of them, and some of them are still saying, we knew nothing. Rosie O'Donnell, I wanted to get to that today. Rosie O'Donnell, I'll hold it till tomorrow, says that men suck. Not you. That Eric Swalwell and Bill Clinton broke her heart. It was really actually a decent statement from Rosie O'Donnell, and I do want to play it. She's very disappointed, and I will play that when we have time. Also, those who knew, those who say they didn't, etc. But before we leave today, I would like to play, let me see, the missing scientist. I'm hearing from the Countess of Conspiracy. The missing scientist, they know the truth. They threatened the establishment. What truth did they know, Countess of Conspiracy, and how were they a threat to the establishment? I need details. You know, the truth is out there, but what good if it's out there and we don't know what the truth is that's out there? So if you're going to tell me that they knew the truth, you got to tell me what truth they knew. Because the truth is out there. Thank you, Countess. Countess of Conspiracy, listening to the program this afternoon. I want to be sure to do this before we leave, folks. Carlos, I sent you a clip late from the astronauts. Reed Weissman and also the Victor Glover, who headed the mission. And I would like to play you this clip. They had a press conference in NASA. I would like to play you this clip before we leave today from our
on the ship. I'm not really a religious person, but there was just no other avenue for me to explain anything or to experience anything. So I asked for the chaplain on the Navy ship to just come visit us for a minute. And when that man walked in, I'd never met him before in my life, but I saw the cross on his collar, and I broke down in tears. It's very hard to fully grasp what we just went through. And in these short, you just said it's been a week since we've been back, but it's been a week of medical testing, physical testing, doctors, science objectives. We have not had that decompression. We have not had that reflection time. So I'm basing this on what we saw. And when the sun eclipsed behind the moon, I think all four of us, I turned to Victor and I said, I don't think humanity has evolved to the point of being able to comprehend what we were looking at right now, because it was otherworldly and it was amazing.
The only thing I would add is that beautiful thing. First of all, thank you for sharing that. That was a really special moment. I was in the bed right across when the chaplain came in, and the only thing I would add is I am a religious person, but everything else is the same. There is something in there, and as we start to process, I'll have to tell you next week, but haven't had a chance to really unpack it all yet.
Profound. Reed Weissman, I don't think society's evolved enough yet to handle whatever the profound spiritual revelation that happened to him watching from space the sun eclipse the moon. It just really moved him. He said he's not a religious person, but he experienced something there from his perspective that apparently had a very deep impact on his spirit. And I just wanted to share that with you. Hopefully, we'll hear more. We're going to hear more next week from the astronauts. I thought that was just very beautiful. Okay, my friends. I have heard back from the Countess of Conspiracy, who tells me, I quote, "You can't handle the truth," end quote. So the 10 missing scientists know the truth. They were a threat to the establishment. The Countess of Conspiracy cannot tell me what the truth is because I cannot handle the truth of what is happening to our scientists and what they knew. Don't give up on me, Countess. James Golden, Snerdley.
Rush. This is the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Oh, Snerdley.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
It's the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
Rush. Now, here's James Golden.
Well, I have a hint. Apparently, the 10 scientists that have disappeared or gone missing or been killed have something in common. They all have done extensive UFO research, and so I guess the truth is out there, and I still don't understand the truth. And the Countess of Conspiracy is not telling me that. So anyway, we're going to leave you today with Cyndi Lauper, True Colors, and maybe even Phil Collins' version of it, because it is the birthday of American songwriter Tom Kelly. Tom Kelly wrote this one. He co-wrote Like a Virgin by Madonna, True Colors, So Emotional by Whitney Houston, Eternal Flame by the Bangles, Alone, the Heart song, I drove all night. I touch myself by the Divinals. I'll stand by you by the Pretenders. So many songs. Also, it's the birthday, we're not going to get to it, of Ed Townsend, who co-wrote Let's Get It On with Marvin Gaye and For Your Love. Happy birthday, guys. Heavenly birthday in the case of Ed Townsend. Well, that's going to wrap it for today. James Golden, Bo Snerdley, Fast Hour, and American Media. May God bless and protect each and every single one of you, your families, and your loved ones. Love and gratitude, my friends, for your being here with me and allowing me to be with you. God willing, we are back tomorrow for the I Can't Believe It's Already Friday again edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. I'll try to get the Conscious of Conspiracy to share more. In the meantime, and between time, I bid you adieu. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?